Good morning. I'm Brenna Clanton, your worship associate for today. Grateful to be here with you all, both in person and on Zoom. As we begin our service, I invite you to close your other windows or apps and devices, take a deep breath, and center yourself for worship. We begin by calling forth and honoring the people who made each of us, our biological and spiritual ancestors, teachers, and guides. We call forth those who imagined and made our congregation possible, sustaining it up to this present day. We open and welcome to the ancestral people of this land, acknowledging that our church, like Olive Burke, rests on the unceded territory of the Manahoac tribe of the Great Sioux Nation. We seek healing and the realization of justice with the people of this land who live on in their descendants, the present-day members of the Monacan Indian Nation, the Patawomeck Indian Tribe of Virginia, and the Piscataway Indian Nation. We honor the ancestors as we move toward healing so that all together shall one day know full justice.
Moments of hearing for the first time, you never know what may cause them. The sight of the Atlantic Ocean can do it, or a piece of music, or a face you've never seen before. A pair of somebody's old shoes can do it. You can never be sure. But of this you can be sure. Whenever you find tears in your eyes, especially unexpected tears, it is well to pay the closest attention. They are not only telling you something about the secret of who you are, but more often than not, God is speaking to you through them of the mystery of where you have come from and is summoning you to where you should go next.
We welcome you to Accotink Unitarian Universalist Church live stream worship service. And again, I am Brenna Clanton. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm happy to be your worship associate today. Accotink UU is a welcoming and inclusive community that seeks to create a more just and compassionate world. All are welcome here in this justice-seeking, earth-healing community of faith. You are welcome no matter whom you love, no matter your identity or heritage, no matter your beliefs or background, no matter your means or ability. You are welcome here in this religious community. If you are new to Accotink and would like to talk more about this church, please reach out to me, our minister, Reverend William Levewood, or one of today's greeters, either here at church or using the chat box on Zoom. Our website, www.accotinkuu.org, you can check the online order of service on the worship section. While you are on the website, be sure to check our events page for our upcoming virtual gatherings and other news. Whether you are a longtime member or a newcomer or something in between, we encourage you to stay for a virtual coffee hour immediately after this service, and people are also welcome to stay here in the church for fellowship as well. We are so delighted that you decided to join us today. Welcome.
That was perfect. And was first described in Indian texts thousands of years ago to represent energy centers within the body, mind, and spirit. From our perspective as UUs, we don't have to necessarily believe in them or see them as physical entities to benefit from working with them. We can use each one as a focus or a framework for activating or healing some aspect of our being and finding balance between these different aspects of life. The primary 7 traditional chakras run along the spine from the base of the spine up to the top of the head. Chakra means wheel, and they are thought of as actively processing energy rather than just being static points along the spine. Root is for grounding, survival, physical security. Sacral, which is just below the belly button, is pleasure, creativity, and joy. Solar plexus, which is just above the belly button, personal power, confidence. Heart is self-explanatory, compassion, love. Throat is for self-expression, communication, and speaking your truth. Third eye is intuition, perspective, imagination. And finally, the crown is our spirituality and our purpose. Keep these images and these aspects of our being in mind as we listen now. We'll play an 8-minute recorded sound meditation, which I composed last year. My intent was to create a meditation that invokes the qualities of each of these in turn. You'll hear just over a minute of each with a half second of silence or so. Close your eyes now and listen. Pay close attention to whether each sound resonates in any particular place within your body, or whether it invokes any other feelings, memories, or experiences. Simply try to notice each experience on its own without judging it or being anywhere except in the moment where you are now.
And I'd like to share a prayer. This is by Christian Schmidt, titled A Prayer for Hard Times. Spirit of life and love, be with us in this time as people suffer, as parents grieve, as violence rages. Be with us who feel the pain of loss, who feel anger at injustice. Be with the oppressed and change the heart of the oppressor, for we know that both are joined in their humanity, no matter how we often forget it. Help us remember the hope we had, the hope we have, and the hope we will have. Help us remember the joy in the midst of sadness and success in the midst of challenge and good things in the midst of bad. Help us to be better people, to work for better things, and to create a better world. May it be so. Amen.
The famous orchestra conductor Leopold Stokowski once said, "A painter paints his pictures on canvas, but musicians paint their pictures on silence." From the ancient Indian text, the Radiant Sutras, we have, float with the sound, melt with it into divine silence. The sacred power of space will carry you into the dancing radiant emptiness that is the source of all. Think of any vowel, they are all delicious. Savor the sound with infinite gentleness. Attend to where it comes from within you and where it goes to when it fades away. The ocean of sound is inviting you into its spacious embrace, calling you home. Listen to the subtle, ever-changing tones, layer upon layer. Discover what gradualness is. The power of sound will lead you into the power of silence. We might also think of the power of silence as leading you back into the power of sound, cycles upon cycles. Listen closely at the moment when silence changes into the sound of the first singing bowl being played. Let each sound wave wash over you, and let each moment of silence remind you to find your own moments of stillness. Think of it like ocean waves reaching the shore, peak and valley, peak and valley. Mr. Toskowski also said, "We provide the music and you provide the silence." And so we begin with 2 minutes of silence, which will be followed by 10 minutes of sound bath.
I'm going to read from the Radiance Sutras. After I'm done reading, Brian will play the bowls for another 10 minutes. And this time, we invite you to hum along. Humming not only feels good, but it's actually good for you. Notice how humming is intimately connected with the breath. You can only hum when you're exhaling. Breathe slowly and deeply through your nose, and on an exhale, whenever you feel like doing so, just hum, whatever feels right to you. Trust me, your body wants to hum, even if your logic resists. So this is from the Radiance Sutras. I'm gonna make sure I've got all of it. That's all, okay, thank you. The way of experience begins with a breath, such as the breath you are breathing now, an awakening into luminous reality. May dawn in the momentary throb between any two breaths. Exhaling, breath is released and flows out. There is a pulse as it turns to flow in. In that turn, you are empty. Enter that emptiness as the source of all life. Inhaling, breath flows in, filling, nourishing, just as it turns to flow out. There is a flash of pure joy. Life is renewed. Let your attention glide through the centers of awareness along the spine with adoring intent. There is a song to each area of the body, resonating in sweet vortices, long rhythmic vowels and hums. Ah, he, hom, hum. Resounding on and on. Find the harmonies emanating from the circulation of life energies. Listen to these as sounds. Then, more subtly, as an underlying hum, eventually as most subtle feeling, then diving more deeply, dissolve into freedom.
Last year was very challenging for me, as it was for many of us. The pandemic and other personal challenges reminded me just how important self-care is. I did a lot of inner work through sound and song and dance, and it helps. You can do this too. The late Gabriel Roth, an American dancer and musician who created the 5 rhythms approach to movement, wrote, "In many shamanic societies, if you came to a medicine person complaining of being disheartened, dispirited, or depressed, they would ask one of 4 questions. When did you stop dancing? When did you stop singing? When did you stop being enchanted by stories? When did you stop being comforted by the sweet territory of silence? Find your silence, then sing, hum, chant, vocalize. Put on music and dance in the kitchen and living room. Find more silence. Then grab a drum and beat it to whatever rhythms make you feel more whole. If you don't have a drum, find a box or a bucket or even a tabletop. Hey, if it works for the Blue Man Group, right? I'll put on a drumming song now, which lasts about 7 minutes. Clap along, grab a shaker. There's shakers on the floor there. Drum, beat your chair. This is called ecstatic dance. Get up and dance however your body wants to move. And don't be shy about that, right? Just this is also conscious dance, sacred movement, or what I call dancing with purpose. There are no rules, and you don't have to keep the beat. The point is to let your body find the movement that it needs right now. Bodies were made to move. As we said when we were humming, trust me, your body wants to do it, even if your logic resists. No need to be shy about it. I'll even start off with dancing and drumming myself.
Though we will extinguish our chalice flame, we carry within us what we kindled. The light of inspiration, warmth of compassion, the fire of commitment. May we bring these gifts into our lives and share them radiantly out in the world. I invite you to join me now in our community blessing with these words of David Bumbaugh. This church is dedicated to the proposition that behind all our differences and beneath all our diversity, there is a unity that makes us one, binds us forever together in spite of time, death, and the space between the stars. We now silent witness to that unity. And as we go forth in our day, I invite you to take the energy of this morning's service, and may you find pockets of silence, and may you be greeted by the gift of sound. Go forth, blessed be, amen.